And let's start doing this. So, um, there we go. Welcome. So, our session today, February, is all about the listing presentation, the market plan, how to do a CMA, and getting ready for spring so we can knock it out of the park. Now, some of you are in the height of your market like Naples, but the rest of us are not. So, um, I apologize that we can't all be in the same kind of marketplace. But I don't feel sorry for you, Naples people, at all. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. The CMA market overview. A normal CMA has six similar properties. Sometimes I do a little more, sometimes I do less. And these are the ways we're going to pick them. Last week, which was January 26th, we did the market knowledge. And if you did not, were not able to take that class, I encourage you to listen to the recording and just try to follow along. If you need anything from me, definitely call me. But I will tell you, I really thought a lot about what I could teach agents that would help them make money, a lot of money. And I'm teaching it. This is it. So if you take the time to wrap your mind around it, make it yours, practice, and get to know how to pull this information, it's going to change your life. You'll get all the listings you go out on because people will respect what you're saying because you're backing it up with really good data. Okay, and I would say that not everyone, we all have different personalities, right? So, we can be artistic, we can be very um, analytical, we can be very friendly, and we can just be a driver, get to the point, get to the point. For real estate, you kind of need to have all of them. And we have to, the more we can connect with people, no matter what they are, the more money we're going to make. So this class is going to help that analytical and driver the most right now. The other, if you have somebody that's artistic or gregarious, they may not need all of this, but they will need one succinct statement that will blow them away because everyone thinks they know what's happening out there. And if you can say one thing to weave through the gray matter and get to the point and get an aha moment out of that person, you won. And that's what this is really designed to do. So we're going to look at first when we go to get a listing, we get all the information on the house. We take a look around the house with the seller. They invite us in. We have a script for what we're going to say before we get there. We have a script for what we're going to say when they're there, when we're there, and when they show us around their house. And then we sit down at their kitchen table and we have a script for the next things we're going to say. And starting out is that it is the script for the next things we're going to say. So most people, when you are sitting in front of them and you just got there, whether you know them well or you don't know them at all, they are analyzing, feeling what they feel, kind of, should I listen to this person or not, kind of thing. So this helps you take control right at the beginning. So you start with, you know what? I know, Danielle, that you've been watching the news a lot and you think you know what's going on in this marketplace, but I just want to share with you that what's happening across the country is not the same as what's happening in Connecticut. So I want to start with an overview of what's happening in our state. And then we'll look at what's happening in Hartford County and in West Hartford. So this is what I did. I went and found a house not listed for 20 years in West Hartford, just, because I wanted something that wasn't in the MLS already. So no idea what the price is. Okay, so what I'm showing you, does anybody know what we're looking at right now? We did it last week. It begins with info. What is it?
Sparks?
Yes, this is InfoSpark. So this is what I told you. Post this on social media. So in this example, this is a market overview for the last 180 days in four Connecticut counties. I have actually the entire Connecticut and then Hartford County, New Haven County, and Fairfield County. So if I was in Florida, I would do something similar, but I would compare different areas. So we can see the total MLS in 2023. That, and this is what I would say. I would say I want to go over what's happening in Connecticut over the last 3 years and what's happening in the counties that we're in. So in Connecticut, in the entire MLS, the average price in 2023 was 522. Then it went up to 562 in 24, and in 25 it went to 606. Okay, so things are still good in this state. We prices are rising. That's not true everywhere else. So let's look at Hartford County, 377, 409, and now 434. So Hartford County is still really going up 2.8%. And this is from December. So this is the height of holiday season. Prices are still going up. Right now, I've seen videos where people are lining up down the street to go into an open house. So we don't really know what's happening, but we think that we're still in a scarcity of market in most areas. And then New Haven County is still going up as well. And Fairfield County is, you know, crazy and off the charts. So that's what's happening in our state. Now, here's what is happening as far as showings go. I want to let you know right now, this in 2023, the average house needed 17 showings, 17.9, before they went into contract. Now it's 14.7. And in Hartford County, it was 19.3, and now it's 15.8. So just to give you an idea of what's happening with showings. And now this is what's happening to the number of days. So the number of days on the market before it goes under contract. Again, this is December. It's not the last 30 days, unfortunately. And, they changed it today. So if I pulled this today, we would be seeing January right now. Okay, so here we have days on the market for the entire state, 30 in 2023. Today it's 26. 20 for Hartford County. Today it's 17. And New Haven County 30, now it's 28. Fairfield County 39, now it's 30. So still things are going pretty quickly. In some areas, it's even less than that. So before we move into what I think your house is worth, I want to show you what's happening in West Hartford because we hear the national news, no one's talking what's really happening. So in West Hartford, and these numbers are all for single family only, no condos. So in West Hartford, the average list price is 560. And in West Hartford, the average beds for a house is three, baths two, and the above ground square footage 2023. West Hartford, most houses were built in, where's the average age? 1947. And, in the neighborhood you're in, it's more like in the 30s. It's a lot of Art Deco. So that they're smaller. So the people that are buying here, they wish they had a bigger house, but they like living in the area. So the neighborhood makes up for it. The average sale price per square feet is 299, and the average house has a third of an acre. Um, the average sale price in West Hartford is 594, 387, and that is 6.2% over asking right now. So that will help us determine what kind of plan we want to use to get you the most money, which we'll talk about at the end. This is another kind of neat fact. The average assessed value to sale price ratio is 238.68. So your assessed value, I believe, is 254. So if you were to um, multiply that by 238.68%, you would get, according to the town, over the last 80 days, oh no, over the last 30 days, what your house would be worth. So we can look at that too. And the average days on the market right now is 15.90. So it's below Hartford County. Okay. So if I was in Matrix and Rhode Island and Naples used Matrix, I would do a search and then I would go to the bottom of the search and do a quick CMA. So I'm just going to take a minute and show you how I do this, okay? I will start with, I'm going to start with Naples. Let's see. So in Naples, they use Matrix. Oops. I am going to go to criteria. Now, it's funny because they're areas. I'm not going to put the city. I'm going to put the geo area. They do things a little
Julie,
different.
we do not see your screen.
Oh, sorry. I will put it over here. Hang on. Thank you, Alex.
Shoot.
So I'm in Matrix in Naples, and I'm going to go to Naples. Okay, hang on. I don't know if it's still, I did this earlier and I have to make sure I'm live here. All right, so I am looking at 0 to 30. So these are the number of days on the market. And I'm going to select, let's see. Um, let's do South Naples area. I don't want to select the whole town because it's like 5,000 things. So I'll do South Naples Park, South Naples. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay. So now I'm going to go, there's 160 results. That's good. You know what? I'm going to add the other one too, which is Naples, Old Naples. Let's see what I got. In the last 30 days, 239. So that's decent. All right. So now I'm going to go to results and see what that looks like. So I click results. And then, can you guys all see my screen? Down at the bottom, it says stats, and I'm going to select stats, and I'm going to select tabular. I used to teach, Connecticut used to be matrix. Okay, so here we have what's happening. In the last 30 days, oh, I have to do one, hold on, I have to go back. Back. It only lets me do one thing at a time. It doesn't give it to me all together, which I hate. So let's just do pending to start with. Okay. Last 30 days, 24 pendings. So I'm going to click stats, tabular, and I can see now 24, and these are single family homes. Properties went under contract, and the list price average was 3,904,950. and we don't know what it sold for because they're deposits. Um, Days on the market, 101. And that's, pretty good. Okay, average square footage, 2,978. And it says what it is down here. So if I was in Naples, I would print this out. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to criteria and do closed. Okay, and go to results, and then go click on stats, tabular, and now I have the sale price too. So the average list price, 71 in 30 days, and that's not the whole town, that's just part of the town. 2,596,099, and the sale price 2,404,103. So they our average list to sale price ratio is 94.34, which is 5.76, right? Um,
So what does that
Under.
exactly mean? That it's close to what they our asking price was, that they're pretty
Oh,
close to what
no,
they.
here it is. It says it right here. I don't have to th figure it out. It's 94.34%. Oh, less than asking. Oh, it doesn't say. I'm sorry. What was your question,
So
Danielle?
the SPLP is basically the percentage of what they asked and what they got. So
Correct.
they're okay. Wow.
And in
Okay.
West Hartford, it was almost 5% over asking. And here it's the reverse. But the prices are higher. And the days on the market, 103. So really, that's a little over 3 months. That's not horrible. So things are getting good over there. So that would be Naples. Now in Connecticut, let me just go in. Same thing. And we did this last week. So if you look at last week's, you'll see. Okay, so I'm going into the MLS. So single family only search. And I want to know what's happened in the last 30 days. The last 30 days is like magic when you tell people that because everything else is always a delayed report. So in Connecticut, we can look for everything all at once. Okay, and it's the reverse. It's 30 to 0 instead of 0 to 30. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, under contract, same thing. Oops. 30. And under contract up here. And I'm even going to do active. Okay. So now I have the true last 30 days. And once you put that in there, you just hit the X button and now it's saved. And now I have to put in the city, West Hartford. Okay, select. And now 86 total, all of them. View results. And instead of looking at stats, I go here to quick CMA. So next to the car is a little graph, and that is quick CMA. And I click that, and then I click quick statistics up here. Okay, we did this last week too. And it's showing us in the last 30 days in West Hartford, which is tiny. Um, let's see, 39 houses went under contract and 31 closed. The average list price 451, average sale price 460, and that is only 1% over asking. So that's a surprise to me. And then down here are the stats that say the same thing. So, and the days on the market, average Average 47. Wow. No, that's active. Hold on. Closed. Average days on the market's 21. So prices are, I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's because it's freezing out. I don't know. But this is the last 30 days in West Hartford. So I would talk about that with them.
So this is how you get the CMA in Connecticut on our MLS?
This is how I get the statistics. So what we're looking at right now is our
Okay.
opening conversation at the listing. Like everyone does a CMA, but they don't ever juxtaposition the CMA to what's happening in the country versus the state versus the town. And when you talk big picture like that, people look at you differently. That's how PJ Lewis talks. That's how politicians talk. You want to make sure you're tying in the big conversation. The big conversation that is all about their little house starts with the country. So let's just talk about that for a second. I know Alex, he's like wants to talk so badly. Um,
I do not.
okay, Alex is very driven by numbers. So this is what I love. The average person wants to know what is my house worth, but they want to know, am I going to make more money because I live in West Hartford as opposed to living in Avon? What are the better towns? And so they do like looking at other things and comparing them. But when you're talking to them about this, think about what they're thinking. When you first sit down, you're at the kitchen table. So let me just paint the picture. I get to the house, I have my information all planned out. I know what I'm going to say. They let me in the front door. I say before you show me around the house, I can't wait to see your house, but let me just put my things down in the kitchen table. So you all walk in the kitchen table, you put your things down. Then you have your clipboard and you have your pen and you say, why don't you show me around? Where would you like to start? And let them show you the flow of the house. Okay, you go through all the rooms, you're making notes the whole time. Okay, now you come back and you sit down and you look at them in the eye and you say, I love what you did to something. Your closets are amazing. I can't believe, the colors are just beautiful. Now, I love Robert Perriello teaches a class about um, the four personalities and figuring out who you're talking to and then saying something that will resonate with them. So it's that kind of an idea. Um, for some people, it might be, oh, I can't believe the air filters you have on your furnace. I've never seen anything like that. There's no dust in your house. It's like for it depends on them what you're going to compliment them on. But you want to show them that you love something about their house. Because if you don't, they don't think you can sell their house. So you have to be excited about something in their house, even if it's the neighborhood. Okay. Even if when you sit down and you can see, I can see why you bought this house. This is so beautiful. This area is so beautiful. All right. Am I making sense here? Good. Okay. Go ahead, Danny. Are you talking? Who has a question? Okay. All right. So that now I'm ready to. So before I get into what I think your house is worth, let's talk about what's happening in the marketplace. So tell me some things you've heard. What do you think is happening? And then they're going to say whatever it is they think. And then you're going to talk about, let me show you the numbers. And now you went from them looking at my clothes and how young or old I am, and what am I, oh, I got to clean up this, and I have to go shopping and get that one ingredient for dinner tomorrow. You know what I mean? And now you pull out these numbers, and now you have their attention. That's what happens. You control the conversation by being able to start like that. So it's really, really important to learn this and internalize it. And that's why I spent a lot of time last week and this week. So I hope you take me seriously and do this. So I have to tell you, PowerPoint actually has artificial intelligence. And when I said the CMA, it actually threw a butterfly in there. And it was so beautiful, I couldn't take it out. I'm like, I don't know why that's there, but I love it. Okay, so let's start. Now we're going to talk about the CMA. So that's why we say this stuff in the beginning. And now we're going to, this is the house I picked to do a CMA on. It is this one here. The address is 1637 Boulevard, West Hartford. And I love that. I love this street. I used to have a lot of friends that lived here when I was a kid growing up. Been through a lot of the houses. And this is where you get the little third of an acre lots, which is bigger than the quarter acre lots in some areas, and even, other areas are even a little bit smaller. But these are pretty big houses sitting on these small little lots with, garages in the back, detached, and they just have that charm of an era gone by. So when I find something I want to do a CMA on, I first go to the tax records and I pull this information. So this is Smart MLS tax. Now I also will go to the town records. I will do a Google search for what West Hartford town assessor cards, and I will get them. So no matter where you are, you can do that search and you will get them. And the assessor cards have sometimes information that this card doesn't have. But then this card has things the assessor card doesn't have. So it's good to have both. All right. So I'm Googling. Now I'm going to Google the address. And the reason I want to Google the address is because you can't even imagine how, so not just the address, but the street. I want to know what is happening in this area. So I know if there's any potential pollution, an airport coming into the area. There's always something crazy. So you always want to Google the address, which I did here. And what I found was this is a historical area, and it looks like they were going to put a dormer on or something, and they had to get approval from the town, and it even made it into the Hartford Courant. And then this is what it said. So that's it. You know, oh, this is a a classic Victorian home, and they removed some things that they felt weren't historical. Okay, but for some reason they had to get information on that, which I probably would also pull the deed on this and just see what does it say about what you can and can't do in this historical area. So those kind of things you want to find out before you go to their house. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to RPR and I'm going to find out what RPR thinks this house is worth. So you guys know what RPR is, right? So RPR is part of what you get being a part of the National Association of Realtors. So everyone has RPR. So I'm going to share with you how you find it. All right. There we go. All right. So in Connecticut, Smart MLS, here's RPR. And the first time you sign up for this, it needs your NERDS ID, and that is found here in your agent profile. So all you need is your NERDS ID. Go in, it's free. Sign up, make sure you have an account. It is amazing, and it does commercial and residential. All right, and then for Naples, okay, RPR is right here. So it stands for Realtor Property something. So same thing. And when you go to RPR, so I'm going to go ahead and go there. Whoops, wrong one. So I click on RPR here, and once you log in, it always knows who you are. And I've been using this forever. And you can actually look things up in other parts of the country and do a full-blown CMA for anywhere. So if you have friends and family anywhere in the United States, you can actually help them with this. Okay, so how do I get the report? I just type in the address. And the address is, hold on, I want to remember what I said the address was. Oh, it's in this. Um, 1637 Boulevard. So I go into RPR and I type in 1637 Boulevard. And as you start to type, it's, oh, this is what you want. Yeah, that's the one I want. So, like all MLS things, it catches up with you. And now all I did is go there and it's telling me what it thinks the value is. Okay. And it has a picture. And
This house is gorgeous. Down here, it would be worth double that.
yes, West Hartford's very affordable and gorgeous. West Hartford's
That's
a
a
great,
beautiful home.
isn't it beautiful? So this was built in 1900 and, so it's got that, fun look. Okay. So RPR is something you should sign up for. All you need is your Nerd's ID. Make sure you do that. It's a great place to go get a quick value like you would with Zillow. Okay, but it's part of National Association of Realtors. And the way they obtain value is they look not just at what houses are selling for, but they look at also the what people, the town assessors have used, and they're also looking at off-market sales and data from the town tax records. Okay, so back to the session. All right, so RPR,
Jody, can I ask a question?
yes.
Uh, I I feel so dumb. I don't know where to find it. I mean, I've got my Smart MLS open.
Okay, I'm going to open my MLS
Oh,
again.
I see. I just found it. Oh, never mind.
It's okay.
You've got little icons. I got lists or something.
Oh,
Oh,
really? Okay.
yeah. Isn't that weird?
Oh, I
Okay.
know why, because you're all the way in.
Oh,
So when
okay.
when you're all the way in, oops, it's over
Hmm.
here.
Okay.
But I didn't log all the way into Matrix, so it is here. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And you're welcome. So now we know RPR what they think. So it's kind of given me, okay, this might be a good place to start, 715. But I honestly think it's worth more than that. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, based on the current real estate market in West Hartford, Connecticut, for the zip code of 06107, address 1637 Boulevard, West Hartford, what is the average sale price based on the fact it is in good condition? What would be a good list price, a good market strategy, and how long will it take to sell? So it really came back to me and said it wanted square footage. So I should have added square footage in that. And I think I did. And then it came back and it gave me a quick summary. Okay, so estimated price range 611 to 754. Now they bought it in 2005 for, I believe, 425. So from 2005 till today, it really should have doubled in price. So that's one of the other reasons why I think this is low. So but I'd have to see because every other data that I pulled, it came in at the, like 730 or something. Okay, so now chat's giving me an idea and for strategy, early exposure, staging, competitive pricing. And that's exactly what I would do. I would come up with staging, amazing pictures, and coming soon. And, in Connecticut, because we're in a seller's market, I don't have to worry about what the seller needs to do to get more buyers there. The buyers are going to come. What we want to do is prove a strategy that will get them the most money possible. And many times it's listing it a little lower than you think you should to drive the prices up. But you have to have patience because it might take 5, 6, 7 days for that to happen. So you don't go with the first thing you get. Okay, because if you looked at the average days on the market, it was like 20. So you got to wait at least 10 days to see what happens.
Hi, Jody.
Yes.
If it's possible, can you share on the chat the prompt for ChatGPT?
Okay. Well, let me go back. Actually, I have ChatGPT open. Let me pull it up.
So, Judy, should we have this conversation with the seller about the potential sale price, even that we are trying to list it for less?
Oh, absolutely. So you're going to find out my strategy is to come up with three prices and for them to pick one and have three separate net sheets as part of my strategy I want them to take the reins and decide where they want to start and know what the ramifications are for that so that I am not the one, who's caving in and thinking I made a mistake after 4 days because you feel that way, right? When you don't see activity right away. Okay, so let's see. What did I do? West Hartford. Um, all right. Okay, so the first one I did was ChatGPT likes to talk. So this was my first prompt, but I didn't put the square footage. So I would add the square footage, and then it also said to add something else. Well, I will put it in the chat for you. Okay. I think I can even share this with you. I'll share you the link. Okay. So that's what it said. But so here's the good news. Um, the price is 611 to 754, but the strategic list price 659 to 685. So it's kind of saying, and I would make that minimum 700,000, but it's kind of saying if you start lower, you'll probably make a lot more. And that's what I'm seeing in town is sometimes things are selling 200,000 over asking. So you want to make sure that you look at all that stuff when you're doing this. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. So RPR, ChatGPT, and now we're going to actually do a CMA. So this is what my aim is to get at least 9 properties. If possible, 3 active, 3 deposit, 3 closed. Where we are, there's not any actives, hardly. And so we might have to use more deposits. And I ended up using 1 active, 1 deposit, and 9 closed. So you can do whatever you want, and then you can like tweak it as you noodle it and think what you think it might be worth. And you're going to find that you'll get a price, and that is the price. And people will try to talk you out of it. But
Chat GPT gave you all this information just from you putting that little blurb in?
all this information. Yeah, all that
Wow.
information. Yep. Yeah. I know. It's like a maze. It's a miracle thing. But you have to know what you're doing. You can't just take it for what it says because it's not always right. And sometimes it makes stuff up. And so you have to do a market evaluation yourself. And these are the four searches I use whenever I do a market evaluation. Sometimes I don't need to do all four because I figure it out on the first one, but it depends. Like if you have a condo complex that you know really well, you're not going to, that's where you're going to work out of as long as we've had enough sales to make it make sense. Oops, hang on. Okay, so I start with I need to know the assessed value because I'm going to do a search based on the assessed value range. Why does it keep doing that? Um, if you are in Florida and you're not a tourist and you don't have a house as a second home, you probably are using homesteading. And in that case, your assessed value is not, you're getting a break on the taxes. So it's not going to work out. You have to just make sure you're looking at the comps, but you'll still get an idea. Okay. And the thing about Florida is there are so many houses going under contract, coming on the market. The population is huge there. So even if the market's bad, you have an abundance of things to look at. So you might not even need to do this. Here, we need to do this. So this is a really good um, guidepost. Assess value is a good guidepost to look at. The only time it's not good is when do you think? When might it not be good?
What is what is not? What is the question?
When would assess value not be a good guidepost to compare to other houses?
When the house might be overassessed, when an area is the houses are overassessed.
Yeah, like for example, let's say I haven't updated my house and I never let the town in to see what I have. Or I have completely redone everything, not taken out any permits, and I don't let the town in to see what I have. So there are times when it doesn't really make sense.
I was also told if the person who owns the house kind of like handicapped or veteran and has a special discount on assess
Yeah,
value,
that's true too.
you have to check
But
with the
that's
town just to make
far and few between. Like I know where I live, none of that happens.
sure.
Okay. It used to happen, but they want our money now, no matter if you're handicapped. So this is the criteria. Assess value first, and I'll show you what I mean. Then neighborhood. Then after I look at the assessed value, I'll look at the neighborhood. And then I'll take the assessed value out and still look at the neighborhood. I want to make sure I'm not missing something because of a filter that I've put into the CMA. And so these two are what I spend the most time on. And then I'll look at um, the two searches, have an idea of what I think it would be worth. And maybe I would also look for style, like colonials, in a certain square footage, or beds and baths, or year built. So year built can be a big factor, especially like in Florida, where you have one little neighborhood that was built 10 years prior to the next neighborhood. There's going to be a big difference in those houses. So you want look, year built depends on where you live, how much of a factor year built is going to have. And then I'll do another search based on that, and they'll come up with, probably more comps. And every time I do one of these searches, I write down, let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, I can't get it to work. I have an envelope here with all the MLS numbers on it that I use. Okay. So as I'm looking, I'm writing down when I like that comp. I write down the number. So I keep track of what I'm picking in these four separate searches. And each one, I'm looking at the houses and saying what is similar. Okay. So this house was built in 1900. The assessed value is 298,810. Taxes are 13,381. And that is from the 2025 tax roll. Square footage, 2,534. And I'm not sure they counted the whole thing. That looks more than that to me, but maybe it's just me. Um, it's 2.5 stories. So this is really a 3-story. And in this town, there's a lot of 3-story houses like this. And the upper story is like where the teenage, you know, person or the artist or um the the up here. So it's something where that third floor, it has its own bath usually, and it's really nice. So it has a lot of character. So that would make a big deal. I'd want to look at other houses that have that to really, connect. This has 10 rooms, 5 bedrooms, but look at that, only 1.5 baths. So that's not good. I don't think it would be I don't even think I could find a house like this with only 1.5 baths. This should have at least two full or 2.5. It's on a third of an acre. That's good. And it has a detached garage. They're calling this a 1 car, but I believe it might be able to be a 2 car. So it's big. It's bigger than a 1 car, but they just probably use it for storage. All right. And then the value add is the fact that it's 3 floors. It has a new kitchen, new bath. It's been restored, and it has a nice fireplace. So now we're going to look for the comps that we like. So I start with assessed value. Now, to find the assessed value in the search, you have to add it from the page. So assessed value is
Where
here
do
where
you
you,
go on this part? I'm sorry, that where do you go here
so
to
I
do
will
the
show you. I will show
okay.
you. Thank you for asking. And okay. So I would go here to search. And over here is add or remove fields. Okay. So West Hartford. And add remove fields. Assessed value. Save. Okay. So now it's there. And that's where I put it. Okay. So the assessed value was 298, 810. So I went 288 to 308. Okay. 810. So 10,000 either way. And then you click view results. There were 34 matches in that assessed value, which is crazy. Usually I'll get like 7, you know? So West Hartford has, this is a lot of the houses have this type of house. So there's a lot to pick from right off the bat based on the assessed value. And here they are. Okay, so if I look at them as I'm looking at them, and I can look at them here where it's bigger and pick what I want. But as I'm looking at them, I'm like, okay, I like what I'm seeing. And then I want to look at the quick statistics based on the assessed value. So we did quick statistics earlier based on the town. These are all within that assessed value, and they've sold within the last 180 days. So what does that look like? And when I look at the 31 closed, or maybe it's 30. Nope. I went back a year. So it's in the last year. So there were 31 closed in this assessed value range. And the sale price on average was 690. And the list price was 648. And that was 6.53 above asking based on the assessed value. So that's telling me, but I went back almost a year and prices have gone up in the last year. So I already know I'm over 700, but I just wanted to see because I didn't want to miss something that would be a good comp here that maybe is on the same street or across the street. Okay. So now I have that info. And I did the same thing. I clicked the quick CMA, the little chart next to the car. And then I clicked look at the stats. Then I opened up, why is this happening? Hang on. Huh. Then I opened up this map. So I didn't change anything. I just opened up the map. And with Naples and Matrix, there's a different way to open up the map. But this one, you have to click these little arrows and it opens it up, and then you can open it up more if you want. Then I click on this center the map on the address of the subject property. So that's what I did. And I can see the other houses that have sold in blue or are on the market in green and what they're worth. And this is the assessed value, those 34 houses. Okay. So now out of those 34 houses, I picked 6 that I liked. And based on those, so we have the neighborhood and we have the assessed value. And now the average is 731 closed and 685 active. And that, is 8% over asking. So those are good comparables.
which correspond with the over asking of West Hartford.
And over asking in this assessed value in this neighborhood is higher than the rest of the town. Is that what your question was?
No, I'm not questioning. I'm saying like your statistics is confirming
Right.
what people pay over.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that confirms my strategy. It's a
Yeah.
good point. And you know what else? When I go to someone's house, I bring everything in a folder that I use to find the price. So if I end up with a very analytical guy, like an engineer, I can say, you know what? Let me show you what I did. And when I do that, it blows them away. So I have had doctors and people pull out magic markers that they can mark up the things. People love data. And it really does separate you. So it's really, if you can, not everyone has that personality, but if you can wrap your head around this, it will help you in your career. Okay, so comparables. Now I'm looking at a high of 900,000 and an average of 731. Okay, so the high was 900,000 here. And that was also in the neighborhood. Okay. This is what the comparables look like when I made them bigger. So this little box here makes them expand. And I didn't use all of these, like the one on Sedgwick. It's beautiful and it has 5 bedrooms like our subject property, but it has 3,810 square feet. And we have 25,410. So I'm looking at them based on that I like everything, but it doesn't mean I'm going to use them. I'm still exploring my options. Okay. So can you see how fun this is? Like if you were to do even your own house and print this out and do step by step each phase, and you're going to find that this is how we price out subdivisions. Like this works on anything. So the next thing I did was just the neighborhood, and I took the assessed value out, and I just did the neighborhood that this is. Okay, and I came up with 26 matches. So when you're in the map area, you can go back to search here and you can make changes. Then come back, center yourself back where you were, and then you can draw with a polygon exactly how you want the map to look. And that is true of both MLSs. So it's true with Matrix as well. So this is the neighborhood, 26 total, two active, 22 closed, and two under contract. In the last, how long did I do this for? Up 6 months back. So in the last 6 months, this is what happened, 180 days. And I'm looking at the closed average list price, 621, average sale price, 628. That's only 1% over asking. So
Jody, but
that's
when you remove the assess value and you do this search, do you include in your criteria the size of the house or
not
not?
yet. Nope, nope, just the
Okay.
neighborhood. And in that neighborhood, not everything is third of acre. You have quarter of acre, you have, 0.15 of an acre. So it's different. Even though but see, West Hartford. What defines the neighborhood there? What do you think defines the neighborhood?
Well, the size of the house, I would say.
The walk to the restaurants. The defining of the neighborhood
Ah,
is,
ah.
can I walk to downtown?
I would say school too. School districts.
Yeah, yeah. In some cases, even more so, school district. All
So
right,
many,
next.
schools.
Okay. And so in the neighborhood, I found three more comparables. When I took out the assessed value, there's another one right on the boulevard, 1640, and it sold for 662. So I was kind of surprised. And that happened in December. But it looks kind of like a funny house. But it's similar. Um, and I would show my clients this. And then Whitman. So, and this is 2,621 square feet, only four beds. This is only four beds too. And it's a little smaller, 2,408 square feet, but two and a half baths and two and a half baths. So these two are decent. And then Woodrow sold for 920. It was on the market for 825, sold for 920. It's a little bigger. It's 500 square feet bigger, but it has four beds and two and a half baths. So a lot of times it's how somebody feels when they walk in the door. And then I did a search, the last search that I showed you, which was just based on the style and square footage, baths, that kind of thing. So everything's already colonials pretty much. So I just said five beds, one and a half baths. Nothing came up. Then I said five beds, 1 to 2 baths, and I got three. So I have my comps. I did my research. I Googled it. I went to RPR. I went to ChatGPT, and I feel confident in my price now. So let's see. Oh, and then the last thing I did was just the price. And I found these three more. So now I have too many, and I'm going to take some out. But I like to have it all, and then I can rethink which ones are the most, because sometimes you just like the houses and you forget what is my subject property like. So you
Judy,
have to,
what was on the prior slide?
this is just price. So this was based only on price.
Before that, just one.
Before that, it was beds and baths.
Got it. Okay.
I don't want to limit it too much. I could have put square footage in there too, but I wanted to look at them because
Also,
sometimes
it
people,
also show the people that it is like lower price competition within the same neighborhood.
right. But I do it this the same, whether it's high end or mobile homes. I do it the same.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So, and then the last thing I always do is the price because I don't want to leave out something that is across the street. And I've seen that happen so many times. It's like the house across the street's for sale. Why is it in there? Your client needs to know you know the market. And a lot of times we're doing CMAs out of our area. So we are not driving by it every day. We're not aware, but they're very aware. And even if you're gonna not, it still adjust the price because maybe it's smaller, larger, whatever. you can, but you want to include it. Okay, so when you think of a competitive market analysis, think of I'm showing a house, and if I was showing a house, that house, my subject property, and these houses were on the market, I would show them as well. That's what a competitive market analysis is. If these houses were on the market still, not closed, and my house was on the market too, I would show these as well. But I would want to buy that one. And that's much higher and bigger. So the next thing is I'm going to go to Moxie Present. So I don't do the CMA in the MLS. I get the comparables in the MLS before I go to Moxie Present. Okay. So Moxie Present is found by going to 21 online. Then you go in the upper right-hand corner to menu, then Productivity Hub, and then you click on Moxie Present again. So let me, because it takes a minute to download. So I'm just gonna do it while I have you. So um, I find you have to see what I'm doing. Okay. So back to 21 online. 21 online. Sign in. And if I'm already signed in, I'll go right in. Loading. Okay, so here I am, menu, then scroll down to Productivity Hub, and now I scroll down to Moxie. So there's Canva, see Canva. Moxie, it's M, it's alphabetical. Moxie Present, there it is. So now I'm here in the Moxie universe, and this toolbar just came in, and I click Present again. Okay, so let me go back for a minute to where I just was. So here I am in the presentation. So I click Present again, and then I click Create New. So it says 1 here. This is the first step, Create New. Okay, then the second step is I have to find the seller. So I'm doing it for a seller, and I select Seller. And now I hit Continue. The next step, 3, is the hardest step because you want to think it's going to be brokerage templates, but it's not. This is a drop down, and I select Century 21 LLC parent company. And then I hit Continue. And now, in this case, I picked the Fine Homes and Estates presentation, which I would usually use in this town. Otherwise, there's the Spanish presentation or the regular seller presentation. They're all good, and they pretty much say the same things, it just look different. Okay, so I'm picking Fine Homes and Estates, and then for the presentation name, you have to put a presentation name. I always put the address of the property. So I think that's important. Why is it important? Because, why? You know how many times I see the marketing department? The marketing department will do this for you, but you have to give them the comparables. So many times we misspell people's names. We're dyslexic, we're normal, we're human. If I misspell Boulevard, that doesn't hurt as much as somebody's name. And then you hit create. Okay, and now it brings you here. So when you create it, now you're creating it. It's downloading and it's, t filled in. It has a presentation name. Now, if your house that you're doing a CMA has been listed within the last 10 years, you can put the MLS number here and everything will download. But this case it didn't. So I had to fill everything out myself, including taking a snipping tool snip, saving it as a JPEG in my pictures, and then uploading it here. Okay, so it's easy. Take really is maybe 3 minutes longer to do everything yourself. But you have to fill it in, everything. So I'm going to share with you what it looks like. All right. So I'm in Moxie. And I'm in present. So I'm not going to do create new because I already created it, but I am going to click on the pencil. So after you create something, you can go back in and change things by clicking on the pencil. And you can also click these three dots and email it, print it, and do other things. But I'm clicking on the pencil and that way I can change things. So you can see what I did. So here's a presentation name. I uploaded the picture from Google, and then I scrolled down to subject property information. And I have in here the property type, single family home, year built 1900, tax amount 13,381, tax year 2025. I got the parcel ID from the tax records. You don't have to have that. 5 bedrooms and 1.5 baths. So that says 1.5, even though it says 2 there. And then it's 1/3 of an acre. So um, the default is the square feet, but I always put in the acreage, 0.3, because I don't know the square footage. That doesn't even make any sense to me. And then I go down to basement. It's a full basement, partially finished, in fact, has one fireplace, no pool, a detached garage. I have 2 spaces. It's really only one space. One, parking for like 6 people in the driveway. I don't know why that's even there. Kitchen's been updated, hip roof, gas heat, and central air. This is a colonial with 3 floors. Land tenure, because who knows, maybe they're looking at Ohio or something. We're owned. Fuel is gas, clapboard exterior, hardwood floors. So it has all the information and some, beautiful entry front and side covered porch and large rear yard with a deck. Okay, and remarks, I actually copied from the old MLS. So this was already in there. And then I hit continue. So then all these, because I already picked everything, you won't see the comps. But so this is what I did. You can do location, which is what this is, or you can do MLS numbers. I already picked the comps. So I went in here, I did MLS numbers, and then I went back and added 2 more. So that's why it looks a little crazy here because it's not that. So when you add the MLS numbers, you separate by comma, and then you click the search bar here to find them, and then it will find them. Okay. Then to pick the comp, you click on the picture. So I clicked on the picture, now I'm going to unclick. Now it's unselected. Now I'm going to click. Now it's selected. So that's how you pick the comps. You select them. I wish it would show me all the comps again. I don't know why it's not. Oh, I know. I have to put the address in. So somehow the address came out. It should be in there. 1637 Boulevard, West Hartford. There we go. Okay, and now they're there. So this is showing me all the same things. That's why I'm telling you, if you know and you think you know what the price is, and it's a family friend and you've already decided what the price is, you don't have to do everything we just did. You can go right in here and just pick them. And a lot of agents do that. But then you don't have that inner strength of knowing that price. So I do the research. And all the top agents I know do it just like I do it. And because I get to see everything. And I do, will you do something showing us how you do a CMA? And they do. And I'm like, oh, that's how I do it too. So here's the ones that I picked. And this shows you what I just said. Any questions? So the
You know, I
last,
always have questions.
oh,
Go
good.
ahead. I'm
Let's hear
sorry.
it. No, go for it.
So you said that everything, like, once we just plug in everything for the CMAs, you said our marketing, who will do all the presentation? We
The
do it or
marketing,
someone else?
the marketing
Uh,
team will do it for you.
Really?
But you have to give them the MLS numbers and the price range. And if you want them to do net proceeds, you have to tell them what they are. So I'll show you how this works.
Okay.
So in the remarks, I went and looked at the data I did over the last 30 days. That's what I put here. West Hartford currently has 23 active single-family homes. In the last 30 days, 10 active homes have come on the market, and 29 have gone under contract, and 29 have closed. Days on the market is currently 19, and the average home is selling 4% over asking. Average sale price is. We are still in a seller's market. There's a scarcity of listings. Now is a great time to move. So I always put something there that sounds like breaking news. You know what I mean? You want to have something that's compelling that you don't see anywhere else. So I like the last 30 days. This is what's happening. And it's funny because if you look at the list to sale price ratio, it's been different in three different areas because we've done so many searches, but that's what it is in the last 30 days. So that's what I used. Okay. And then you can see over here what the summary is. So we have active, there's only one active, and it's new construction, and it's 749. And I put it in there because it is new construction. I want them to see. Now, only an idiot would buy new construction over that beautiful house. Pending 785 and sold, um, the average is 738. And the high is 920 and the low is 626. So that is all from the data that we just did. Oops. Okay, and then the next step is estimated net proceeds. So here we're in estimated pricing, and this is the price that came up based on the comps I used. And I really wanted to push this to 800,000. I was like, it's worth 800 because they bought it for 425 in 2005. And prices have gone crazy since then. But prices already were pretty high in West Hartford. So this could actually be accurate. I'm always amazed when the top agents in West Hartford come back with a listing. It's always under what I thought it should be. But then they go over asking because we get in bidding wars. So in the end, we're both right. Okay, so let's look at how you do net proceeds. And this is part of the listing presentation that you're going to want to embrace. And that is inviting the seller to come up with a strategy with you. Okay, so I only did two here because honestly, I was just tired. Um, because my first one I did was 800,000. I went and changed it. So I did 707. I forgot and I can't say, let's say 700 and 750. Okay. So if they got a purchase price of 700, their net would be 448. And this was what was really fun. I looked at when they bought it and what their mortgage was, and their mortgage was like 420. So, or 410. Excuse me. The mortgage was 410 when they bought their house. So look at what you can do now. I asked ChatGPT if I had a mortgage of 410 in 2005 and it was a 30-year loan, at that time the average interest rate was 6%. The interest rate is 6%. What would I owe today? And just to verify, I would probably also ask it what were the rates in 2005. But I just think I know, so I'm guessing really 6%. So ChatGPT said, okay, original mortgage, start year 2005, 30-year fixed, 6%. Um, how many payments they would have made by now, and that would be the average price, and they would owe about 203.3. So when I'm doing the sheet here, you have mortgage payoff. So that's what I put in for the mortgage payoff. And they might have a second mortgage that will show up in the tax records. So you'll see it where we just were in the history. And there's a mortgage history. So the other thing I did was the um, brokerage fees. So I have that in here. And then I did the transfer tax. So West Hartford, Connecticut has a 0.75% transfer tax if the house sells, I think, for under 850. There's a luxury tax over and above that if it goes for over 850, which is in zip forms. There's a closing cost in there that explains how it works. So the state tax is 0.75 and the town tax is 0.50. Most towns, it's between 0.25 and 0.50. The most it can ever be is 0.50, and most small cities go to the max. I honestly don't know what West Hartford is. It might be 0.35. But I like to look a little more, pad the numbers so there's room in there. So they don't sometimes they're down to the wire, to the penny, whether or not they're going to sell, because you have to do a good net sheet here. They want to know what they're going to walk away with. And that's why it's important to put your commission in. And it also shows you don't have fear. Okay. And then down here is the attorney fee, which is average. Okay, so then I did copy and I went here and I changed it to 750. So one of them is 750, one of them is 700. And if I were to do it again, I would do maybe one at 775. Okay? And then we talk about the strategy. Where do you want to start? So this is, I just randomly picked a house. This isn't anybody that I've had a conversation with. Okay? Because I like the area. Next, here's the CMA. So now let me show you what the CMA looks like. So I'm going to go for real to the CMA. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to estimate. When you're navigating this, you can either hit continue or you can go up here and click one of these. All right, so now I'm in the estimate, and here's the estimate net proceeds. For you to get a net proceeds, you have to have a number here. So let's go to net proceeds, and I put here. So I'm going to do one for you just so you can see. I'm going to copy. And now I'll do this one. What did it say? 738. I'm going to do this one, what it said, 738, 150. So it changes everything, which I love. Okay, so the mortgage payoff is going to be the same. The commission is going to be the same. The state tax will be the same. And the attorney fee will be the same. So the only thing that you have to change is the sale price. And then up here it will tell them what their estimated net proceeds will be. So we have 3. Okay, and now I'm going to hit continue. And I'm going to select view up here. We're in web view. There's web view and there's print view. The company will print this out for you and bind it. Okay. So I'm going to go up here to view and I'm going to click web view. And this is the link. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. So if you want to, you can actually go in and look at it with me. It's good to get to know how this navigates. A lot of agents will go to the house when they're doing a CMA with their iPad and show them live because I'll show you why. So we are in the presentation and I'm going to click down. It takes a minute because it's like loading. Okay, now it's going down. So page one. Now, this down in the lower right-hand corner is the navigation area. And when you click on it, we have all the Century 21 cool information about why they should list with us. And then it goes into the CMA. And so here's the CMA pages. So we're looking at the property information and it has that information that I copied from the other listing, which is, and it was nice. Agents really put a lot of thought into it. So I don't feel bad about doing that. And then it shows me all the comparables I used and it shows where they are on the map. And you can click on these and get more information. And I have quite a few, so it's a few. And I probably would go in and take some out, but I was just having fun. Okay. Next, go down, and then it has a different view, and it tells you the number of each comparable. And then it goes into where you can compare to the subject property. So here's our subject property. And I don't know why the living area and the square footage didn't come over. That's weird. But you can tell them that if it doesn't show up here. Ours is 2,500 square feet. Okay, and then you can see this one, 226, 263. So you can see that, and they can see that. And you can also see the year built, the list price, sale date, the percentage of list price, the price per square foot, and um, I don't know what this is per acre. No, so that's bad data. And then the tax amount. And the tax amount is kind of shows you the reality here because the tax is like the assessed value. This is what the town thinks it's worth. So it doesn't think it's the same. This one is almost identical. And this is the one that's 3,000 square feet. So those are the things you want to like embrace yourself before you go to their house so you can talk about it. And the best way to go from house to house is to, when you're with them, print out the MLS sheet of each one and highlight with a yellow highlighter information about it that you want to compare to your subject property and give them, here's the first comparable. Let's look at it. And then you have the MLS sheet. So it's not just here. And this is one of the things all the top agents, I watch them do it. They always do this. And that gives the person a chance to internalize the information. So let's look at the first one. How many bedrooms? How many baths? And you ask them questions and get them to comment about each property. So that's why you don't want as many as I have here, and I would take a bunch of them out and just zero in on a few that I really liked. Okay. And then this is an overview of all of them. And again, we're looking at the square footage, beds, baths, and list price and days on the market. Okay, and then we have the averages. And then we have price versus days on the market. So the higher the price, the more days on the market normally. And then we have square footage versus days on the market. So the bigger the house, the more days on the market. Okay, and now we have our price, our remarks, and the stats. Okay, what we think, and then the net proceeds. So here are the three net proceeds. One, two, three. And this is where people usually get excited because most of the time this is what they really want to know. What am I going to walk away with? And many times that means what am I going to put down in my next house? So they're excited, oh good, I can put down 400,000 on my next house. And then I'll use some of this for uh closing costs and new furniture or decoration or something. Okay. And that is it. Then you have your information and it's all there. So I put in the presentation um, the pages that I didn't just go through because we're going to do this for listing presentation. So you want to get to know these. This is the um, luxury one, but they have the same things. Um, for so this is what I love. The brand powerhouse, 50 plus years in the market, 29.9 million in average daily luxury sales. Most recognized name in real estate, most respected brand in real estate, 98% client satisfaction, 130,000 agents, 79 countries, 11,000 offices. So we really are an iconic brand, and we do are known for luxury too, even though we're known for everything. We're known for everything. Dominating the online scene, 1.3 million visits per month. Staging, pictures. You want to have a plan for all that too. Okay, and I'll let you guys read all of this, but this I took just screenshots of the presentation so you can kind of go through and then decide, what you want to do because I want you all to do a CMA and get to know the market that you're in so that you feel confident in some of this. Okay. Um, Sometimes you have to pivot. That's why it's good to have a range. So when you get there, if it's like, oh my God, this is like back in the 80s, they haven't done one thing and they told me they did all this work, then you have a come to Jesus meeting with them and um, you have a range. So you can go. So in this case, we need to go start at 699 to drive people there. So you just have that conversation. Don't be afraid. You have the comparables and all the pictures of each house to prove it. Okay. And always start with the big picture because that helps you get control and it helps them feel safe because you're not just making things up. You're giving them good data and they want to trust you. They don't want to talk to other people. They would just want you. So prove that you have what it takes. Okay. So 5 contacts a day or conversations or back and forth on social media. Start tracking what you're doing. Okay. What gets measured gets done. Track conversations. How many conversations are you having? And then how many appointments? If you do that, it will change your life. So embrace the market, get to know it, be able to talk the talk. And, it helps, honestly, to go to the office and listen to other agents do it. You will hear the same conversations. Okay, what time is it? Yeah, 3 minutes over. I'd like to do breakout rooms, and I promise next week we will. It's just a lot of information in last week and this week. Any questions? It's so good to see you all. All right. Who's going to do a CMA? All right, let's hear it.
Oh no, my question was because you mentioned coming into the office. What's a good time that on average the agents will be there in the morning, afternoon?
Yeah, so Weathersfield, you're talking Weathersfield? I know in West Hartford it's morning. Weathersfield is probably the same. Branford, afternoon. Stamford, I think it's morning. In some offices, people don't really go in much, but you're always going to have like LJ is always in Glastonbury. I always have people in West Hartford like Linda Johnson, Brent. So there's always somebody, and they're always talking, getting a listing, data, what that house sold for, all that kind of gossip. And Naples, I think, afternoon, evening, and morning, anytime you can probably get something and you get a walk-in too. So I would definitely go to Naples. Keep your ear to the ground, ask people things. Who's going to do a CMA?
I am. I have to.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So I want when you do it, send it to me so I can check it out. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. I will.
Excellent. Thank you all
Okay.
for coming.
Thank you.
Any other
Bye. Thank you.
questions?
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care.
Okay, good night.
A Wednesday night. Come back Wednesday night for the call night or script practice.